Draymond Green literally choked out Rudy Gobert in the first 2 minutes of an NBA game. Victor Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren are better than we even expected, and the Chicago Bulls might be the worst organization in professional sports. Welcome to what you missed in the NBA this week. In life, only 3 things are promised: death, taxes, and that Steph Curry is going to carry the hell out of the Golden State Warriors. For the first 11 games that Curry was actually active in, no other Warrior scored over 20 points. Wiggins just broke this streak when they played against the Thunder when he dropped 31, but this is so sad. I don't even know how that was possible and how they had a winning record in those 11 games at 6-5. And I had to file a missing persons report for Klay Thompson because he is missing on the court and missing the basket too. He's shooting 40.1% from the field and 32.9% from three-point range, by far the worst of his career. This isn't Klay Thompson anymore. This is Klay Thompson in 2023. Against their first matchup against the Thunder, he shot 1 for 10, including 1 for 6 on three-pointers. He is doing so atrocious. Shooting the ball is really the only way that he's going to help this Warriors team because he is far from the elite defender that we've seen years ago. But this isn't even the worst player on the Warriors right now. The worst part is another player who has earned the Bozo of the Week award, presented by Mamba Buckets. And that man is Draymond Green. Unless you've been living under a rock this past week, I'm sure that you know that Draymond Green literally choked out Rudy Gobert in the first 2 minutes of the Warriors-Timberwolves game.
Mom. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Call for your mama.
Klay and Jaden McDaniels were getting into a bit of a scuffle, so Rudy Gobert grabbed Klay to try to defuse the situation and break up the fight. But Draymond Green came at Gobert with what seems like years of pent-up aggression on him and put him in a John Cena night-night chokehold and refused to let go. Gobert said that Draymond was actually trying to put him to sleep. Now yes, Draymond and Gobert have a little bit of a history of some beef back and forth, but there was another reason that Draymond did this. If you count Green's ejection on Tuesday, 7 of his last 11 ejections took place in games that Steph Curry wasn't playing in. Rudy Gobert even called him out, saying that it's kind of funny because before the game, I was telling myself that Steph's not playing, so I know that Draymond is going to try to get ejected, because every time Steph doesn't play, he doesn't want to play. And then he called what Draymond did clown behavior. Meta World Peace even reached out to Draymond and said, "I want to talk to Draymond to make sure he's okay." This is something I didn't expect from him. If Meta World Peace, who literally has gone into stands and punched fans, is thinking you are doing something wrong, you need help. Draymond got a 5-game suspension for this, but the hilarious thing is that Gobert got a $25,000 fine for getting choked out, even while putting his hands up to show that he wasn't escalating anything. He's called this fine shameful, and he's going to be appealing this decision with the NBA. But going back to Draymond, he's really becoming an unlikable player to me. He recently got ejected before this in the Cavaliers game when he pushed Donovan Mitchell in his back, a super dirty play, and got ejected with 2 technical fouls. He's trash-talking Anthony Edwards, who lit him up right after, and he just reminds me of a football player when they play basketball in gym class and try to tackle everybody else. And even this tough guy persona is not always consistent. He even ran from Isaiah Stewart when he purposely pulled on his jersey to bring him forward, and Isaiah Stewart showed him the fear of God and made Draymond act like he didn't do that on purpose. It's crazy, but just as crazy in a good way is we got 2 assists of the year candidates this past week. First, Chris Middleton was going up for a shot and the sweat off his hands, I guess, threw the ball backwards right into Malik Beasley's shooting pocket, and then he drained the 3. This wasn't officially counted as an assist, unfortunately, but Chris got him a nice one. But even nicer might have been DeMar DeRozan's assist, where he rose up, twisted his body midair, and passed it to Kobe White in the corner, who then drained a 3. This is an insanely athletic play and an amazing pass, but it's just about the only positive thing that I can take from the Chicago Bulls this year. The Bulls are about to blow up their team. They're 5-9 and have been a train wreck so far. They just had a 22-1 start against the Heat, and they were getting booed in their own crowd in Chicago, but somehow they actually ended up winning this game. But that's not going to change the course of what's happening in Chicago. Zach LaVine is looking for trades, and also Alex Caruso is probably going to get dealt, along with DeMar DeRozan and and Vucevic so they can do yet another rebuild in Chicago. Zach LaVine has said that his preferred destinations are the 76ers, Heat, or the Lakers. I think it's most likely that he might go to the Sixers. And also Alex Caruso is definitely going to get dealt to a contender who can have a defensive wing and add a burst of energy to whatever lineup he goes into. Really, ever since Lonzo has gotten hurt, this team has just been on the decline and they've never really been able to recover. And unfortunately, Lonzo is not coming back anytime soon, just like I'm not sure if Bradley Beal is either. The Suns' big three with Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker just cannot touch the floor at the same time. They have not played a single game together where all three of them are in the lineup, and Bradley Beal just got sidelined for another 3 weeks with a back issue. This is just reminding me of the Brooklyn Nets in 2021 where all three players and KD, Harden, and Kyrie just could not be on the floor together too. They had no team chemistry and they ultimately failed. It just isn't gonna work. Unlike two rookies who are making it work too well with Victor Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren. Wemby and Chet are having an intense battle in the Rookie of the Year race. In their most recent games, Chet just dropped 36 points, including a game-tying 3 to send it into overtime against the Warriors, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and a block. And Wemby just dropped 19 points, 8 blocks, 13 rebounds, and 4 assists. These are two of the best rookies that I've ever seen in my life, and they're both really unicorn players who are super tall, super versatile, and can shoot it super well. Although their stats are somewhat similar, Chet is shooting a much more efficient split. He's actually shooting a 50-40-90 season, and he's fitting efficiently into a great system that is developed for him, and the Thunder are doing fantastic. Wemby, on the other hand, is a primary option on a very bad team, and he needs to create a lot for himself. It's a very tight race for Rookie of the Year, and I think it's going to be that way all season, but right now I would even put Chet above Wemby. But for Chet to actually get the Rookie of the Year award, I think he'll have to do even better because Wemby just has such a narrative around him in the media. And while Wemby and Chet are doing well, there's another rookie in Detroit that is also doing amazing in his own right, and that's Ausar Thompson. Although Detroit has had 10 losses in a row and their team seemingly can never get better year after year, Ausar Thompson is a bright spot on the Pistons. He's a defensive anchor with 1.2 steals per game and 1.7 blocks per game, and he's averaging 10.3 rebounds per game at 6'6". The only other people that are averaging more rebounds per game this season are all centers, around 7 feet tall. Thompson is already getting Dennis Rodman comparisons in Detroit, and he is a super valuable rookie. And the last thing I have for you guys is about the in-season tournament. Everything is going great with the tournament, and it's turning out to be way better than anyone expected. Guys are getting really into the in-season tournament, and there's a level of competitiveness that is not seen in regular season games that are not in-season tournament games. The $500K prize per player is going to be a very great motivating factor, and Damian Lillard has even said that he's trying to get that in-season tournament money for the players that are on two-way contracts and are not so well off financially, which he's right. Those two-way contract guys could be trying to change their families' lives, and $500K is $500K. That's a ton of money, life-changing money. But the tournament's really been great. I love the courts personally. I know that there's mixed opinions on the colors, but I think it's really awesome. And I think the in-season tournament is going to stay in the NBA forever. But that's all that I got for you guys this week. I will be back next week with another recap video, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.